Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, that's the time traveling toy collector, and in today's video we are looking at Transformers Studio Series Mixmaster, the last Constructicon that was needed for us to create Devastator, and we'll be doing Devastator in a standalone video, so don't worry about that. But yes, this is the last of the Studio Series 86 Transformers Constructicons as they appeared in the movie. I'm still a bit peeved that they didn't come with the trumpets because we had Coronation Starscream. However, as we are now getting a new Starscream down the line as part of with the new Seeker mold, as part of the ongoing Studio Series line, my optimism is if they're not going to give him cape and pauldrons and a throne, because I don't think they're going to repeat that, maybe they can give him, you know, 5 trumpets that can all fit in the hands of the Constructicons, because that would be brilliant. Anyway, whilst you're pondering whether or not that would in fact be brilliant, here we have Transformers Studio Series, the movie, Constructicon Mixmaster. There he is on the front, looking all Mixmastery in both modes. On the side, we have a glimpse of Devastator in all of his glory. On the back, we have obligatory product shots. We have a picture of Devastator throwing sludge towards Slag. We can see that there. Mixmaster combines with the other Constructicons to form Devastator. In case you weren't aware of that, that's very helpful information. It's a 15-step transformation, so not a huge amount. And there's his vehicle mode. There's words and things, and don't eat the plastic. Voyager class, Autobot symbol, because of course, famously the Constructicons were top secret Autobots. Obviously they're not. I'm talking nonsense. I don't know why they can't just put a Decepticon logo on the side of the box. Okay, so here we have Mixmaster out of the box. He does require a little bit of initial assembly. This section comes separate, as does obviously his pistol. But it's very easy to attach, so there's no major issues there. So let's take a nice look at the figure. So the face sculpt is very, very well done. Nice and silver. You've got some deep red eyes there, along with his head. Getting to it is a bit challenging because of this section here, which you can't do anything about, or if you can, I can't find it. But it does have a bit of wibbly wobbly, but not a huge amount, and it's a nightmare to get your fingers in. You may remember the G1 original had guns and that could pop out. Well, not they pop out, but you could install them there. The thing, they were chrome vac metallized guns. We don't have that option on this figure, but the detailing is there, just as sort of reminisce. We do have shoulder, bicep, elbow articulation. We have no wrist articulation for this Voyager class figure. And of course, I'm going to mention it because I have to, but we don't have any waist articulation. But this again is predominantly due to the fact that they're all going to combine into Devastator. We do have hip and waist, not waist, hip and thigh articulation, knee bend there, and we also have ankle tilt. So you can get him into a few nice dynamic poses. You know, as you wish, to suit your particular display needs or photography needs or whatever. But the main event really for all of the Constructicons is going to be that people want them to form Devastator. And as I say, I'll be doing that in a separate video. But he's very robust. He's not got dingly dangly bits that sort of flop about. He does feel quite, as I say, quite robust. I keep thinking these wheels are going to pop off. I think it's an optical illusion because of where that swivel is. You kind of think this wheel's about to go haywire, but that's not the case. There's some nice detailing on the interior of the arms here, and that double sort of mushroom peg there is sort of incorporated in. It feels like it's part of the mechanical detailing, so I kind of like that. I kind of like that as a gimmick. I do like obviously we've got the sort of standard green and purple Constructicon look, but the detailing on the chest is nice with the black and the red pulling out there, and the silver surround on the Decepticon logo. So all of that's very nice. On the back, I've kind of shown you it already. There's not a lot to see. We have the rear of the cab on the back of the on the legs, which is again standard practice really. A bit of a sticky out butt, but who hasn't these days? Again, a bit more detailing there around his sort of rear waist, and of course then there's just the sort of drum on the back, which, you know, to be honest, that is kind of the look of G1 Mixmaster. So again, we've had quite a bit of discussion and chat, and I've seen lots of other people have sort of discussions and chats about how disappointed some people have been in the Constructicons, and I do understand it. I would, however, say that I don't necessarily share that. I do to an extent, because I think if you're paying Voyager class, they should have figured out some of that waist articulation, etc. But by the same token, I do think people are really collecting this for Devastator. It doesn't mean they shouldn't have had good individual figures, because a lot of people might want to get 2 sets. I toyed with the idea at the beginning, but opted to not. But I can fully understand why you might want to have a set of individual Constructicons and also a set that you can merge into Devastator. And on reflowing, they're massively sold out now. But a couple of years down the line, if they do a gift set for the Constructicons, I know that Evan and co have said that there's no immediate plans for that. But I think commercially it would make no sense to not do it down the road, even if they did it as a retro box release, because there was as well, you've seen mine. So it could just be like a retro version of the Constructicons. But done in that sort of that 6-figure box set, which I think I think it would sell. I think they'd be commercially makes no sense to do that, you know, to not do that rather. So if you think that makes sense, let me know in the comments down below. If you think I'm nuts, then you don't need to let me know. Most people think that, and I'm probably one of them. But yeah, I know there's people disappointed with them. I think that they are okay for what they are. I think it's a shame we're paying for Voyager class figures where the engineering is being spent on an alternate mode that we're not getting the advantage of until we have them all. But I do understand it. They're trying to keep it sort of main range scale. The alternative is we look at Studio Series 69, which was the combiner Michael Bay version of the Constructicons, which I've got still boxed, because every time I look at it, I think I must get them out. Then I open the box and peek inside and see how complicated it looks and how big they all are, and I think, oh my god, I don't know if I can even do it. So I keep putting that off, but I will get around to it, because I've promised myself, and I also need it for my Deconstructing Devastator playlist, so it's got to happen. But I think these give us, again, that sort of middle ground of they're hitting us with G1-esque toys, but they also have, as far as is humanly possible, that 21st century sensitivity around engineering. And I just think you can't hit both of those and do them both well. Well, that's the evidence where we are now. Maybe 22nd century engineering will be in a different place. But currently, I think what they're giving us is the best they can give us for the money and the available engineering. And you know what? I get it. I get that. I can live with it. Not least because I am excited to see them all combined into Devastator in hand. I've seen a couple of people do it, and I saw one all sort of geared up at MCM Comic Con a few weeks ago, and yeah, it looks good. So I am excited to bring these together, but that's for a future video. For here and now, I'm going to transform Mixmaster into his alt mode, so don't touch that dial. And here we have Mixmaster all transformed into his alt mode, and it's a beautiful representation of his G1 form, and I really appreciate sort of the additional sort of chugging mixing segment there. There's just a lot. There's a lot to like. He rolls perfectly fine. He's a nice solid piece when you turn him over. To be honest, there's not an awful lot of hidden robot mode there that you could obviously know. I mean, obviously you can see his fists, but if you didn't know, you wouldn't necessarily know. it cleans up very nicely, and again all of that mechanical detailing really works well in this mode, as it does around the edges. So there we have that wonderful front cab with the silver grille, Decepticon logo. We have the pinned in wheels, very nice. We have all of the detailing on the side there. We have the drum doesn't turn round, unfortunately, but there we are. We have the detailing on the back, and the side repeats itself over here, but it all looks very great, very cohesive. His weapon is, of course, oh, that's the wrong hole. Hate it when you put it in the wrong hole. Is, of course, detachable. You can keep it on there. It'll also presumably attach to the side here if you really want to sort of arm him up that way. Can again do it there because that's the outside of his arms. But otherwise, there's not really anywhere else you'd put it. But I'll leave it there because that's where the instructions suggest that we keep it for now. But I really love it. I love the throwback to the purple windshields, the purple drum. It really works nicely. Yes, we have some space in between, but you know, if you ever actually look at some of these construction vehicles, they don't look this dissimilar, to be perfectly honest. So final thoughts on his vehicle mode, considering there's not a huge amount to say. It's very nice. It's, as I say, it's very cohesive. I will take a look at if you keep an eye out for my Deconstructing Devastator playlist. I'll be doing a Studio Series 86 version of that with all of the Constructicons together, and I'll also be doing a Devastator look at Devastator for the Studio Series 86 playlist as well, because it seems only right and proper. I'll do that as a standalone. So that'll be coming up in the next few days. So if you don't already subscribe to the channel, please do, because then you'll be able to catch that as it drops, and also check out some of the other good stuff on the channel. It's entirely free for you, and there's no obligation to watch everything that comes out. And to be perfectly honest, the most important part of it is that it helps me, selfishly, but it helps me get to my next subscriber milestone. So because I'm just a small channel and I do this really as a hobby, and as some fun when I'm sitting at home alone in the dark, surrounded by plastic things, it's just nice to sort of see that there is an increase over time of people who do actually want to watch what I'm talking about and see what I'm saying. And you contribute to that hugely by subscribing and letting me know that there is an interest out there. So you know, it's brilliant if you do that. If not, though, don't worry, it's absolutely great. I'm just glad you're here for the duration of the video, and if you could at the very least drop a like to the video, that really helps. Similarly, drop a comment down below. Have you enjoyed collecting the Constructicons? Do you think they're a bit of a letdown? Do you understand why they might not be what we all hoped for? I mean, there's a part of me that thinks they could never be what we hoped for, because the imagination we had back in the 80s did more than engineering ever could, really. And we really had to use it in the... Now, I didn't have one of these in the 80s, so my imagination had to work 3 times as hard, because I was just using extracts from cartoons and comic books to have Devastator in my you know, mental play arena with my Transformers. So, and when I actually got the sort of G1 version, you do really see just how restricted and limited the figures were, in favour of the alt mode, which is sort of standard G1, but also their ability to combine, which again for the G1 version of Devastator, very ropey combination, no articulation. So you know, here we are, hideous amount of years later. And we're going, yeah, but which, you know, roughly translates into, yeah, they're all right, but they're not what we were hoping for. Well, actually, they are a phenomenal update and improvement on the G1, what we had for G1. But they keep so much of the G1 aesthetic. So again, when I say I can sort of forgive the lack of waist swivel, I guess that's where it comes from. I appreciate for what it is rather than for what it isn't. And as I say, I'm really looking forward to seeing what it is when it combines with the other Constructicons to form Devastator. So again, looking forward to reading your thoughts down in the comments below. You've been a fantastic companion while I've been looking at Mixmaster. I've been the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and as mentioned, this has been Transformers Studio Series 86 Mixmaster, one of the 6 Constructicons released by Hasbro and Takara Tomy, and I very much look forward to seeing you in a future, or of course a past video. And it just remains for me to say that things of beauty really are toys forever. Take care, bye bye for now.